Okay, let's do some live repairs. Let's share the stream here, and let's stop bumping the desk so the camera's not moving around. ByteDelight live repairs. We're live repairs. Oh, can hear myself. Sorry, I can myself. What the hell's can myself? Okay, let's share this. I have to restart my machine. I never restart my machine, but it's time to restart it again. It's needed from time to time, so. Okay. And I need coffee. Why is this not posted? Post. Okay. Yep, it's posted. That's posted. I think we've posted everything. Alright, and one more on my timeline. And welcome, guys. Welcome. Let's see if the chat works. Let's see if the stream works. Let's see if my microphone works. Because I seem to forget to put up the dials from time to time. But alright, I think we're all set. And I think we can just launch this video. So welcome to this unexpected stream, and that's because I am working away some backlog of repairs and some other things that came in that need my attention. I'm catching up. There's not much left. Couple of big orders or big repair orders or something. And this is one from a customer, not the diagnostic cartridge here, but only the board, of course. And the board came in this cool, lovely replica white case. I like these. Of course, I like them because I make the rainbow LED case of these with the translucent or fluorescent, how you want to call it, key mat. But not this one. This one is just a plain white case. So I just only removed the metal heatsink, the aluminium heatsink, from the board, and that's the only thing I've done. So I've not tested it or something else. I just opened up the case and pulled out the board. Hey, some people are coming in. Hey Stuart, good afternoon. Okay, I'm getting some Facebook messages at the same time. And this board came in after the person ordered the okay. After the person ordered the refurbishment service for ZX Spectrum 48K boards. I can show you that. Let me see if I'm prepped. Yes. So I can show you the offer of the service here. So if you go to zxspectrum.shop, you can go to repair and refurbishment service, and you can either choose between a board service only or a complete machine. And of course the complete machine also includes the new membrane, and I will check if all rubber feet are present and maybe some screws or something. So that's included, and the board includes these services. So repairs if needed, new Fizz-A capacitors, of course, a Traco Power voltage regulator. So the most expensive one. I will heatsink the ULA chip, which means that the socket will be removed. I will do a composite mod if needed, if not yet present. And I will do a full test, and you will get a ZX Spectrum story with that, which is the booklet which I write when I do these repairs. So that's what you get for the low amount of £45, plus shipment, of course, return shipment. So that's what I do, and now I want to go to the board, because I'm really curious. I like doing boards. Okay, let's see. I get all kinds of messages. Right. Yep. Okay. I think people are still at work or something. It's not that crowded at the moment in the chat, but it's no problem. Let's get it on. So I'm going to sit a bit further away. First, let's get some coffee. I'm still coping with a cold that's been going on for almost 4 weeks now, which you might say that then it's not a cold, and I don't think it's a cold. because I was coughing a lot, so I think it's something else, but it's getting better, but not quick. I've had this before, so it's not the first time actually. Let me see if I can pull the camera a bit closer. Ah, professional camera work here. Right, oh, I'm bumping some boxes here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is, well, let's fix this awful long cable here. I don't like this at all. This is electricity cable. It's not meant for wiring a composite video signal. So let's make it a bit nice, more nice to see. I actually even don't think we need to do this, but well, let's do it. Oh, you can see I'm using the weller again, and that's because the weller has some more power in the tip, which is needed for larger solder planes, ground planes, for example. So that's one benefit compared to the Chinese one. But still, I don't like this cheap made weller stuff. I should have either bought a professional one, not a cheap one, or buy a Heiko or something. But the problem is that I never believed that weller would produce cheap stuff, and this is just the cheap stuff. Come on, get out. Get out. Right, old cable gone. Why is this bent? There's no reason for that. You're in Eindhoven, you can hear, maybe you can hear it outside. We're in Eindhoven, we got an airport which is getting used more and more. So planes are arriving or departing every 5 minutes now. Nowadays, unfortunately not over our living area, but just outside of our living area. I have some family in near Amsterdam, or in Amsterdam, and it's a lot different. That there you will get airplanes every 30 seconds or something, and they just fly over the houses there, very close. But I don't like that. This is good enough. Good thing about having an airport in your city is you can fly everywhere cheaply and easily. So even to Cambridge, for example, I've flown a couple of times to Cambridge already. Flown for the Spectrum 30 and 35 events and some other stuff for work. But also to Spain and I think Portugal as well. So I like having an airport in our town. We have everything here. That's what I like about Eindhoven. We have everything. Everything I want is in the neighborhood. And we still live outside the city itself, so it's not too crowded where I live. If you know where we live, if you want to know where we live, then you can just Google for it. Go to Google Maps and type ByteDelight and you will find us. Alright, so taking a couple of minutes to swap the wire. Only that. Oh. Hey Mark! Don't spam me on Facebook that much, Steve. No, just joking. Spam me as much as you want. No, it's not one of yours. Come on, Mark. I'm doing so much stuff, but it's getting close. Closer, close. Ah, come on. Maybe it's good for you that it's not a madhouse here when it comes to orders. It's not good for us because I want to sell more, but it's good for processing all the old stuff, all the stuff that so close, all the stuff that was been waiting here for months. So that's one. Okay, so I removed the heatsink, and I think we're going to do a first test. I think we have to clean the edge connector a bit. Hey Vincent, good afternoon. Cool. So you have both Timex Sinclair and Timex computer models now, Mark. It's cool. The syrup is clean enough. I had another board which I was fixing earlier today, and it had really dirty contacts. Sorry for my close head. So that's a lot of noise less. The Z80 seems to have been replaced. Seeing the soldering solder action here, it's not that bad. It's only that's a lot of flux remaining. So maybe I can clean it to make sure there's no short circuit or something. Don't think the owner has done it himself, but I still want to ultrasonic cleaner once. I will look for it once I find some time. Soldering job is not the best I've seen. Large blobs of solder on it, but if it's good enough, it's good enough. An ultrasonic cleaner will help with getting boards back to people looking as new. Not the people, but the boards. Right. Do a close check. There don't seem to be any problems with the soldering there. Of course I cannot see underneath the socket, but it just helps. It's good enough. Right, so I think I can connect it here. We swap cameras. You guys can see it as well. Okay, it's on HDMI, but it should be on AV. Let's see what it does. Okay, it only does that, and I can hear some noise from the speaker. Could be anything at this moment, so let's check. We do have all the power. That the CPU is not sending any memory requests or read actions, so maybe it's the CPU. So let's grab another one. Maybe the CPU is defective. Where is my cooler? I don't have it here. Let's use a screwdriver then. That's a lot better. We have some memory issue here. I guess it's D7, the left one here. But this could be caused by bad capacitors, and I'm not sure if you can see it that good because the light is reflecting in the oh, whatever. It's good enough. Okay, it's not even booting. Could also be the UD chip. Oh, that's good. That's odd. I just pushed the ULA chip and it seems to work now. So the ZE doesn't seem to work. So that's one thing, and it's hanging again. So, okay, we have partially working board, but there are some things that I don't trust completely. So what we're going to do is first remove or replace the capacitors, and we're going to replace the voltage regulator. Right. And of course I will test the ZED again, but I think the ZED was defective as well. So let's continue with that. Right. So the good thing about this weather is that you can, for example, touch these points here, which are surrounded by a huge ground plane. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it on camera. So that's with the weather, it's a lot easier. I think I have only half an hour or less because my wife's already preparing dinner. You can smell it. Alright, so I'm flowing the capacitors so they will come out easily. And I still have troubles with this desoldering station. It's just a station. I think more people have the same one and don't have issues like I have, so it's probably just mine. But you cannot see what I'm doing here, and it's a pity. Well, let's move a bit closer to the camera then. I can do it. I'm always making small circles, so I want to make sure that the legs are disconnected after I do this. Right, a couple more. I think I will find another camera stand which I can use from the top. I need to find something for that. There's probably something on the market for that. I don't want it to be in the way, so if it's clogged up again, that's what this machine does. But it's all so. Well, it's also filled up, I think. So this one clogs up a lot. So you have to clean it until it's loose again. And of course, watch your fingers because the tip is hot, very hot, over 300 degrees. So. Alright. So for now we're done with that machine. We're going to replace the relay chip later. First we're going to make sure it will work. There could be a couple of reasons that the machine is behaving like this. Maybe the ULA socket is bad. Maybe it's just the voltage regulator that's bad. I don't know, we have to check. So we're going to rule out some of the causes and see what the result is. So let's start with the capacitors, because I've had more boards where the capacitors caused all kinds of strange troubles, even memory errors, but only because of bad capacitors. And if you replace them, sometimes the problems will go away and you can focus on other things. Yeah, it's the same with this one, Steve. So the barrel is the main problem with mine. But others say that they don't have the clean theirs as much as I need to do with mine. So not sure if it's a different use or it's the machine, I don't know. But I actually bought some felt sheets, which I cut the round felt pads for the machine with. Sorry, because buying the felt pads ready-made is much more expensive. So now I can make sure that the filters will stay clean, because I have plenty of them. Right. So no more capacitors. Let's get the cabinet with the replacement capacitors. Oh, don't lose any screws here. I don't want that from the customer, not mine. Sorry. Barbecue, wow. Yeah, I'm into barbecue, although I'm feeling a bit sick still, but I'm always hungry. That's not the issue here. So this is my cabinet with the capacitors. So I use this cabinet for creating the capacitor kits, which I sell at the ZX-Spectrum.shop. You can find them there. And I will also use them for myself, of course. Well, I'm not using the kits, but it's the same, you know. It's not the manual. Bon appetit, Mark, if you're still here. I don't think so, but... Right, 22 microfarads. First one. So you can see I'm using a small stand, which works quite nice. I always do this. It's life easier. Usually I select a bigger one, but this one was the first one I saw. Right. So these all are in the standard location, but some others on this board need checking on the capacitor map I made. I've shared those on ByteDelight.com. You can find them there if you need information about that. And of course they're also included with the capacitor kits for only $8.99, guys. It's not expensive for VISA capacitors. Okay, so the 22, yes, it was a 22, and it should be... there's 122 on this issue 4B on the bottom here, with the plus to the left. And the strange thing is on the 6A, the plus is on the right for this capacitor, so you have to be careful with that. It's all written down. So 200 microfarads here. Then one microfarad and another one in the second. First this one. I'm also installing I was just moving this fume extractor here, but this is not really an extractor. It just dissipates some of the fumes, but better would be to have something that removes the fumes from the area. And I actually bought some stuff to create a fume extractor for my reflow oven. And I might also use the same tubes for removing the fumes from this workplace here. So I will work on that later. I've tried some things already, but I think that may work greatly, because I will put something directly outside when I'm using the oven in the future. Okay, this is a 4B, I said, and it's a 1 microfarad with the plus on the top. I think it's important to have a healthy working environment. And no, I'm not having a cold because the working environment is not good. That's not the cause here. And one 4.7. I think we're done with the capacitors then. Double check. Yep. No strange ones here. I could count the difference, of course, but not making many mistakes with those. That's 1, that's 2, 3. So after replacing the regulator, we're going to do another test and see what happens then. I think it's important when you replace parts like this that it's almost invisible that it's been replaced, and of course you can see it by the used capacitors, but I think it's important that the board should remain in the same state when it comes to the quality of the board, and it's not very easy. The soldering station makes that a bit easier, but still you will always see some minor marks when you do a job like that. But I think these boards are valuable to people, and of course in time they will become more valuable because they will become more rare, and it's becoming more harder to maintain them. So let's do a good job here of all my boards. I think I've got about 30 to do for myself, which is now more easy with the new diagnostic cartridge, which you just saw. Steve, did you see I was using it, or didn't you? We'll use it again in a minute. I really like the cartridge. It's a really good tool for quickly diagnosing problems. So for example, you can I could see that the Z80 was not doing anything because it was not outputting read and memory request signals. I've seen it before, and that it's a easy way to find out that Z80 is dead or has another problem, maybe clock signal, for example, missing clock signal. Haven't got that with the diagnostic cartridge yet, but that could be a cause. But this one was socketed, so the first thing that was logically to do is just swap it out and see if it works. These are easy to get, they're not expensive, and I offer them of course on the web shop. And test all of these because those all come from China, and I test all stuff from China nowadays. There are too many batches with some parts. Some of them might be defective with all kinds of parts, and I buy stuff that's still made in Holland at reliable suppliers, but from with these old stock parts, it's of course a lot cheaper and easier to get in China directly. Because all stuff goes to China, I think, something like that. Right, almost done with the capacitors, just refound the bottom of it as well, so it looks a bit better. Alright, let's check the power connector, it's still good, no problem with that. So now get out the 7805 voltage regulator. Yeah, solder them from the top side. And then check the bottom as well. It's the same, you know, it's a metallized via, so it's no problem soldering from the bottom or the top. You can do either. Right, let's get in the Traco power regulator, make sure the top is clean. It is. And also make sure that there's still pad left. Yeah, there is. It's just, it was just dried. Okay. I still have double feelings with replacing the voltage regulator, because The old ones with the heatsink, they look cool, but they're hot. And these new ones, they look simple, but they're cool. So yeah, of course this one is better for the machine itself, especially when using it inside the case, which most people do. Alright, so that's been done. Okay, let's do another test. And maybe one other reason that I find it hard to replace the capacitors is that you're throwing away, if you actually throw them away, a good voltage regulator. So that's the reason. Hey Mohammed, good afternoon, man. What did you miss? Not much. I'm just repairing a board from a customer, and we're about to do a second test. So all the capacitors have been replaced, and I also replaced the voltage regulator, as you can see here. So I'm going to do a second test because the machine wasn't quite reliable with the first test. And it could be the edge connector, which is not completely clean. Where did I leave my remote control? So we're going to test it again. See if the memory error has vanished or still present or not. Okay, we got a picture. Let's put it inside. And so, sorry for the light. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it's from those windows. So maybe it's better if I put it this way. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Now you can see it properly. Yeah. I know it's far away, but okay, without, it just puts up. That's good. Now with the cartridge, that looks a lot better. Why is one of the data LEDs still green? Okay, no problem. That's it. Probably because I switched over to countdown. You can choose between showing the activity on the data lines directly, or seeing the countdown and other stuff that the diagnostic cartridge performs. I'm not sure if you can see it from there, but the LEDs are going mad at this moment because it's doing intro testing and it shows it on the LEDs. Right, I think this board works 100% now. I'm really curious if we do another test with the other Z80 to make sure it's not really damaged. It's clean, not completely clean, but I want to make sure it's really defective. Okay, then we're going to replace or remove the ULA socket. No, the Z80 is really dead. So that's for sure. Let's do the ULA socket. Okay, everyone was solid. Okay. Yep. Alright. First, let's put some thermal grease on his ULA chip, and then where's that cabinet? Oh, the other side. There's one. Sorry, I'm doing strange things here, but it's because the thermal grease is on the ground here. Pasta di Lituana. Okay. I'm not sure how old this one is. It is thermal grease, but feels like it's completely hardened out. I have more of these, of course, somewhere else. Let's try it out. no, it's not usable anymore. Not this one. I found this last week somewhere. Didn't know it was in the space I found it. So the other one I just wanted to use, I think it's dried out as well. Let me see. Yeah, it's also dried out. So I have to get under the desk because the rest is underneath the desk here. Sorry for these strange things going on. Let me find some thermal grease, and I have some more. Look, the professional one, and I ordered some new ones, the simple ones. This is for PC CPUs, but we'll use it now. But of course, this is no glue. This is only the paste, the thermal paste. So we still have to use some glue as well to make sure the heatsink is not coming off. First, let's spread the paste a bit. Yep, it's everywhere now. Oh, let's not make it fall. Hey, Ben. Another Ben. More Bens. So I'm pushing down the heatsink to the relay chip, and the next thing I'm going to do is, of course, putting the glue on without making a mess. I'm very good at making a mess with super glue. Yep, that went well. Exactly what I wanted. And the other side as well. And this will not come off easily anymore. So let's try a bit. You can see that refurbishing the machine takes quite some time. It's not something you do in 15 minutes or something. So hence the rates I asked, they're not that high, so I don't think it's the biggest problem. Let's get rid of the socket here and switch cameras again. I think this is the easiest way of removing the solder from the pins by reflowing them. But of course you can also use flux gel, for example, but I think it's more expensive. I'm not sure, maybe I should check once. I think this is cheaper. And it's only using a tiny amount of extra solder, so that's not the worst thing. It's plugging up again. You can hear it from the sound of the machine. Check it out. It's not the worst. Oh, Steve, so as I said, the paste is just solder paste, thermal paste. So I added some super glue so the heatsink won't come off. It's still removable if you want to. You can even remove the super glue. but it's good enough. Most important is that it's not coming off by accident or a transport or something. I think there are even pads for that, thermal pads, which are self-adhesive, but I think they're not that thermal conductive as paste, of course. So I stick with paste. Alright, only one left here. It's a good job. I will show the result. There's some solder left on the top. It should be cleaned as well. So let's do that first, maybe with the machine. Be easier. Let's put it on for a couple seconds more. So as you can see, this board is almost done. Of course, we still have to do some testing, but I will do it at the other workplace. Oh, there's some more gloves here. But this is what is involved with repair. This one, of course, was easy. There are lots of more difficult repairs. Like, for example, if the 12 volt is not present, then most often the voltage regulated transistors are defective, but also the lower memory chips might or will be defective, at least one. Most of the time there are more having a problem, but so they need to be pulled with the soldering station, of course, and then I will check one by one which of them is causing the short, 12 volts, and then I can put them back. And sometimes you can measure if there's a short between 12 volts and ground, for example, by just measuring the resistance of the chip on the 12 volt line and the ground, but not always. Sometimes it's a dynamic short, which also only shows itself when you power on the chip, the machine. So I use a board for that, another board where I can put a defective chip in it, or potentially defective chip, and if I'm quick enough, I can see I can make sure that the quite expensive, it's not too bad, transistor is not blowing, because that would be a waste of money, of course. Transistors cost, what is it, 30 cents each or something, so I have to be careful with those. Maybe I should create some other power circuit in the future. For example, maybe I could make a tester on a separate board which just adds, puts 12 volts to the chip, and I can measure the current, and that could be a better way of checking if the chips are failing or not. Well, maybe I could do that even with the next board I will service with that error. So, right, so as you can see here, let's switch cameras. You can see now the ULA chip has been heat sinked and the socket has been removed, so it will still, as you can see here, fit in the case, because it should not be higher than this. And of course, if you would make it higher, there won't be any airflow. So this will make sure there's still a bit of airflow. It will increase the lifetime of the ULA chip, which is still working. We just tested it. So let's do a final test with this board, and we can make sure that it's working again. And I just have to perform the last test. Alright, you can still see the television. Okay, that works just fine. I can hear the high frequency sound from the oscillator circuit here, which makes the correct sound. And all is working well, so as you can see. Of course, you always have to make sure to do a time test for a couple of hours, so we'll put it on when I'm doing something else tonight or tomorrow. So this is the booklet I was referring to. This is the booklet I put with every refurbished or repaired machine. Uh, Almost always repairs will go hand in hand with some refurbishing work. So, for example, if you have a defective machine, you probably also still need to replace the capacitors. So this booklet describes what I actually repaired, what I tested. I also, if there's a serial number or a board issue number or something, I put it here, and the date that I finished repairing this, and of course my own name will be at the back. So I like adding these with the repairs. Cool. And if you have arrived, the voltage regulator on this repaired board, you mean, Dave? This is a Traco Power one. The new version, by the way. The old version had a red front, but I can show you this one has a black one, a black label nowadays. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but you can see what I mean here. So this is the completely cold Traco Power one, and that's because they're very efficient. I think they're 98% efficient or something. So they will transform 9 volts or a bit more than that most of the time, and make perfect 5 volt from that. You're referring to this, Matthias, good afternoon by the way, and Jan, good evening. Is it evening yet? Yeah, it's evening, 4 minutes here on all of this. This is the new diagnostic cartridge that has been developed by Steve Smith, which is also in the chat by the way at the moment. The original design of this board was done by Dylan Smith and Brendan Elford, but Steve added some things like, now you can see more what's going on the ZED signals, the data lines. This is also showing all the voltage lines on the 48K models, because on the Hardican kit, for example, there won't be any 9 volt or 12 volt, only 5 volts, for example. And with the +3, I don't think you get 9 volts, only 12. What's the current rating of the Traco? The Traco Power ones used as a direct replacement for the 7805 is a 1 ampere regulator. You have the 2 amperes version of these, but they're a lot more expensive and also a lot bigger. I don't think they will be a drop-in replacement for the 7805, but they exist. And these boards consume, I think, 0.4 amperes, something like that. I've put it on a website, on my page on my website somewhere. So if you Google for ByteDelight power requirements or something, you'll get a sheet with all kinds of things measured. So computers, interfaces, and lots more. So this one has about 0.6 amperes left from the Traco Power regulator, but if you connect a diff-MC interface, for example, and some other interfaces, that will go up. Most of the time people will use about 0.6 or 0.7 amperes from the Traco Power, and that won't be any problem. But if you are coming close to the 1 amperes, then it might shut down or something. It's protected against that. Yeah, the pins are indeed very thin, but it's not a big problem because it works. I also use these ones, but not for the refurbishing jobs. I use these ones. These are the Chinese cheap regulators, but they work actually quite well, or just perfect, and never any problem with these ones. These are a lot cheaper, so these cost only, what is it, 150 or something. And I use these for Harlequin boards because the Traco Power ones don't fit on the boards quite well. This is a small design flaw, you can call it. So the Traco Power ones are too close to some capacitors. But these ones fit quite well, and hence I painted one side black. All of these, by the way, so all of these are painted black on one side, and they will fit quite perfectly with the black Harlequin boards that I offer on ZX Spectrum shop. Hey JGR, good afternoon. I forgot who you were. I think I posted something to you recently. I don't know. Sorry. So this was a repair of this 48K board from David. This is done, and I will do more testing, of course. But it's completely working now. It's completely refurbished. I don't think I need to do anything else. Just finish testing, and I can go back to him because he... Oh, Jirai, of course. Sorry, sorry, from Italy. Good afternoon, man. Oh, your package has just been sent out to Italy again, 30 minutes ago. I wanted to do that yesterday, but I didn't come to that. So it's underway. Right, so thanks for watching. We'll do more repairs later this week, I think, because I really like the diagnostic cartridge. I'm going to use it a lot. And I'm going to offer them as well on ZX Spectrum shop in kit form or ready assembled. But I think if you want to do repairs yourself, you must be able to assemble a kit like this, of course. That's the easiest thing of that. The board issue is a 4B, this one. And I think you can see that because it's hard to see, of course, from distance. But this one has a 22 microfarads capacitor on the bottom here with the plus to the left. And that's typically for a 4B. Anyway, enough of that. We'll speak to you later, guys. Thank you for watching. And please like if you haven't. And subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.